time in that bubble
stream has
essentially,
started.
like, speeds up. So,
Yo.
like, to the outside world, they're just like a blur. But like inside that little bubble, it's like normal time for them, and everything else is like slow as fuck.
All right, so the stream has just started, and catch y'all up to speed. These guys finished making the power for my trigger for this Weaverdice game, so it's about to be unveiled to me. What have you guys decided on?
Josh, you can explain it all, right?
Essentially, like a manifestation of the spirit of the victim, the guy that you shot, appears and like put it in a place, and you try and like maneuver so that like there is a target, like your target is between your victim. I'm gonna call him the ghost from now on.
The ghost has a gun, by the way.
The ghost has a gun. All right.
You can summon a ghost
Like
somewhere that you can see, and he has a rifle.
Is it so? It's like Duck Hunt in fucking Smash Bros.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Down B. Yeah, okay.
That's what Kyle said.
Duck Hunt.
All right. So when the target is between, like you and the ghost, or like you and the shadow, it'll shoot. And you can shoot like a healing beam or like healing shot or whatever, which will heal the target, but it'll do damage to you. And like if you heal like more people, it'll do like more damage to you. Like it won't kill you ever. Like you're not gonna die, but it'll like kind of like reduce your health temporarily and like knock you out for a while.
Okay. So I'm this group's cleric. All right.
No, but you can do the inverse too. You can do the opposite.
Oh.
Yeah.
Where it hurts people and heals you.
Yeah. And the idea is it focuses on, so like instead of you shooting someone else with like a beam, it's like you kind of put yourself in the victim's shoes, because the whole thing was like how no one else cared about like the character. I mean, like the guy who was shot, right? Yeah. So it's like about empathy and putting yourself in their shoes, right? Yeah. So you're actually the one being shot, right? And you can possibly like benefit from hurting other people, right? Which will give you some guilt. Or you can heal other people, but then you get like hurt, which just sucks for you.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll hit you. It's planted like the ghost.
You're getting a trade-off.
Yeah,
like the ghost will stay, but it'll track you as you move. And yeah, so you can control the intensity. The cooldown isn't like, it's like 3 seconds maybe. So like to set up the ghost again.
Yeah.
So like it's not like you can't like just, it's not like shooting a gun at someone all the time. Like the idea, what you do is you try and position it so you get the maximum amount of people between you and the ghost, or between you and the shadow, so it kills like the most people or hits the most people. It doesn't kill them unless you try to kill them.
Wait, so does the ghost stand between me and the target, or does the target have or do I set up the ghost on the opposite side of the target from me?
The target shoots you, right?
And the ghost will basically shoot at you all the time, like every time. And you want it to shoot through your target, like to get to you. So like you're hitting who you want it to hit.
Oh, and that's for the healing one?
That's for both.
They both work the same way. You can just decide which way you want it to be flip-flopped.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, got it. I see.
So you get to choose the target. No, you get to choose where the ghost is, and you get to choose what it shoots. So either damage or healing.
Okay, so basically my kit is based around like line of sight systems and having to have a straight line for targets.
You have to be in line of sight after you set up the ghost, though.
Well, okay,
like you can
but
out of line of sight, but there is like a range to it. So
now,
you can't do it miles away.
So if I set up the ghost in one spot, can I move myself and the beam will like move?
Yeah, he tracks you.
The ghost tracks me. Okay.
It'll always track you.
That's cool.
That's
all right.
Potentially also like a downside, because like people could look at it to figure out where you are, right?
Right.
So yeah, but it's pretty. This is a pretty good power.
I like it.
Be a healer if you want.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do like a big res if you want, but it'll probably like knock you out for like 3 days or something.
Yeah. If you heal the whole team at high intensity, you may just
not just the whole team. Like it'd have to be like other people too.
Yeah.
If you heal a whole, I don't know, school bus of children, then you're going to be out for a couple days.
But if you kill Kill the whole school.
But if you
bus and
kill the whole
them,
school bus, you're gonna
you'll
feel
be
so
God.
good, dude.
You'll be God.
Yeah. Also,
You're
yeah.
gonna
Does that? So can I
fucking over the moon.
overcharge my? Can I like Ubercharge myself by killing people or like?
That's a good. I'm gonna think about that. Like armor in Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
That'd be fucked up, dude.
Okay.
You just kill like
No, then Nick gets
20
to be the
people
tank.
in order to be charged up.
God.
Yeah, Nick gets to be the tank then. He commits so much murder.
Yeah, I
and the
could-
healer.
Yeah, I could either be like fucking Vladimir or Soraka. This is what it sounds
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is really just going to be how you position yourself or how you position your targets between you and your shadow, essentially.
Yeah. Okay. That's dope. I like that.
So this sounds like a really good power, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. And you like it though, right?
Yes.
You like
Yeah.
the
Absolutely. I have
idea
no
of-
qualms
yeah,
with it.
Yeah, because it's like what's it called? Because the idea for the power really. Well, let me tell you the title for the power actually.
Okay.
The power's name is the legendary Shadow Raider.
The what?
The legendary Shadow Raider.
Why? That's so dumb. You came up with such a cool power and then you gave it such a dumb name.
Because it's a shadow from from like the legends of your history.
Oh my
It makes
god.
you-
Bro, we fucking came up with Pacific Rim for Kyle and that's what you give me? Jesus Christ.
Take it or leave it.
Oh my
No,
god.
take it. It's the legendary Shadow Raider.
It's basically this or nothing.
It hurts so much. Like I'm really trying to not say Raid Shadow Legends and instead say Legendary Shadow Raider.
Oh, that's
Legendary
why you're
Shadow
doing it.
Raider.
God damn it. I didn't even make that connection. Jesus
You didn't make
Christ.
that connection?
You just thought it was lame on its own.
Yeah, I
Oh
thought that
my
was just
God.
lame for lameness sake. I didn't even realize. Jesus Christ.
Raid Shadow Legends, baby.
Legendary Shadow Raider.
I want you to
God.
know, Nick, no matter what we decided on, there was always going to be that aspect of Raid Shadow Legends.
Well,
Like,
I guess
I-
I
The original
was.
power was basically like designed just so he could say Raid Shadow.
Yeah.
It was like you set up like a 1v1 in like a forest, and then like it's like one person is defending and the other person is trying to raid.
Oh,
Like a shadow
God.
world.
Stop. All right. Yeah, fine.
Until he said the title. You
Yeah.
didn't hit the trigger.
There's there's no universe where your power wasn't tied to Raid Shadow Legends.
God damn it. All right, fine. At least the power is
It's
cool.
awesome. Just say it. Just admit it.
The power is awesome. The name is not. I will not say the name is awesome.
You have to say it every time you cast it because it's like
Every time you
Why
wanna
do you
fire,
guys get to
say
decide the
Legendary
name?
Shadow
Why
Raider.
Pokemon, like you have to say it when you do anything.
Legendary Shadow Raider. It's like an
Jesus
incantation.
Christ, yeah.
That's what the ghost does. Is it says it every time.
Oh
He just
my god.
screams it out into the void.
Legendary Shadow Raider.
And then our opponents are like, well, we don't know exactly what his power does, but we do know that it yells Legendary Shadow Raider every time. So watch out for that.
The shot is sponsored
Yeah,
by-
really, makes the opportunities for sneak attacks not possible.
This shot is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this gang fight was sponsored by Raid Shadow.
Jesus
Download
Christ.
today.
Yeah. All right. Well, all right. And also to catch up the audience because they didn't hear the trigger part. Yeah, my trigger was basically I didn't like the idea of hunting. I was like a vegetarian or whatever, and then
You're specifically not a vegetarian. Like, it said you were not a vegetarian.
wait. Then what was? Oh, because just my friends were really into hunting, and I just wasn't about it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were just like a regular guy.
You get out of it because they were like, if you care about animals so much, why aren't you a vegetarian? And you're like, damn.
Oh, okay.
They
Yeah.
got me with the straw man.
And then they took me hunting, and I basically Dick Cheney'd it, except I actually killed the person. But then nobody cared, and then I triggered.
And then nobody cared.
It's like, it's kind of nuts that you did that because you headshot a guy.
Yeah, I
with,
know.
like,
I fucking domed him first try. Fucking
You're like,
insane.
It always hits your head. It always hits your head. The Legendary Shadow Raider only goes for the head.
Oh, it shoots for my head. Okay.
It-
It should shoot wherever he name shot the guy.
Legendary.
Legendary Shadow. That's why he's legendary. Exactly.
Oh my god. Okay.
His KDR is off the charts.
Dude, he never dies. 'Cause
He
he's
never
already
dies.
dead. One death.
Yeah, and his accuracy is 100%. It always gets to me.
200%.
It's
Yeah.
200%.
So yeah, he always gets his man, I guess. He never misses, even when he misses.
Yeah, that's why, like, when I first heard you say the name, I thought it was supposed to be some, like, gimmicky Western type of thing. I didn't even, like, think about it being connected to fucking Raid Shadow Legends.
Well, the actual reason was because, like, I thought it would be interesting, like, to have, like, a blaster power, which is, like a ranged threat, right?
Yeah.
But I thought it would be interesting if you were the ranged threat instead, right? Like, your whole thing was, like, no one else seemed to care about the life of this guy. It's like, what if you're putting yourself in this guy's shoes, right?
Yeah.
And so instead of you shooting someone with a beam, like, it's like a beam. My initial thought was like a beam shooting from them to you, like ground lightning. But then, like, everyone added, like, like iterated on it and made it, like, a lot better, right?
Yeah.
So it's like the ghost is shooting through your target and to you. Really, he's trying to shoot you because you fucking killed him, dude.
Yeah, understandable.
Mad.
You're a terrible guy.
Well, is it the dude's actual ghost, or is it just me thinking about it?
No.
It's like your own guilt.
Yeah, okay, that's, yeah.
It should actually be like an actual ghost, right?
No, it's like a shadow. It's a shadow. I thought it was like
a ghost.
Yeah, I thought it was a personification of my guilt and thinking about, like, how that
probably
guy
that.
would want to.
Brad, right?
Check out.
So, like, there's I don't want to spoil it for Kyle, but Brad, like, remember Valkyrie?
Yeah.
Like she has ghosts, right? Like, this could be a ghost.
So you actually like have this guy as a like a goat, like
Nah,
a
I don't
character.
think it's the real guy. I think it's a manifestation of the guy.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think the guy would promote Raid Shadow Legends.
We know nothing about him. That's the point. That could have been the inventor of Raid Shadow Legends, and we wouldn't know.
You killed the inventor of Raid. That's the
That's it. You're getting demonetized. How dare you?
That's Nick's B plot.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah, I mean that could be kind of cool. Like I didn't write anything about like this guy at all.
Right. You left
I
it vague on
completely
purpose.
Open. So if Yash wanted to take it and like make him a character Nick can talk to on occasion,
Let's say,
I don't know.
To the best of Nick's knowledge, it is just a manifestation of his guilt.
Yeah.
His guilt being of not being sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Yeah.
But it could be a ghost if we wanted it to.
It could be.
Yeah,
It could
exactly.
be.
Right.
Yeah, we'll leave that door open for future endeavors.
Maybe the legendary Shadow Raider has a favorite game or an app that he has on his phone.
Yeah.
That's favorite RPG.
Nick, don't promote the game unless they're paying you. If you just keep saying it, like, you're never gonna get monetized. They're gonna be like,
I'm not the one that's saying it all the time. It's fucking Pat. He just comes into my stream and just says it.
No.
No.
Shadow Raider.
Yeah, it's not. It's not the same thing. It's completely different.
It's a unique IP, Nick.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I have to, like, run for just like 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
5 whole minutes. Unbelievable. Truly despicable. The worst.
Okay, try and rework Kyle's power.
Do we have to?
I
don't remember what we ended up with.
We said let's sleep on it because it was fucking like 1 a.m. and we were all very tired.
It was just Fish Mecca.
Yeah, but we changed it a lot. Like at the end, you guys agreed to a lot the agreement being. I remember it being that Kyle has the ability. I think we decided that water management is a little more fair than having to do fucking fish management. So the idea is that if you can encapsulate a living creature in water, it becomes a water mecha kind of thing that you can then control for as long as that thing is able to breathe underwater. And if it's not able to breathe underwater, then it'll drown eventually. I can control any living creature as long as it's submerged in water, then I can take over.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say, now that I'm thinking about it, I would say, what are we thinking? So
Can we pull up the trigger again? Just so we can like.
yeah.
Josh sent it in the Discord, but I don't know where he went.
He said he was just leaving for 5 minutes. We can pull up the doc submitted in here. It's in
Yeah,
here
I think.
somewhere.
I mean, like, I think we have like the basic themes like there already. As long as like we stick with the fact that there's a mech of
Mhm.
some sort, and
It's
like,
not. How is it a mech?
well, okay,
Think of it as a familiar.
I
we're just
feel like
calling it-
that was just. I was so excited for mechs, and then there weren't any mechs.
Like in Avatar season 1 when he
Oh, yeah,
when
the
he
fucking-
works with the fish spirit. That's what I've been imagining when I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
That's also what I've been imagining too.
Yeah.
I was also mentioning that.
yeah.
It's a water mech.
I'm the only person not rewatching Avatar, so I don't actually remember what that is.
I cannot
It's
believe
when
you.
it's when he does like when he takes on the spirit. Hi Jacob.
When he destroys the Water Nation, or he destroys
Yeah.
the Fire Nation's invasion to the North Pole.
He turns into this big like water giant creature.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
fish
I'm
mech.
gonna have to.
I'll find you a picture. Hang on.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I see it. I get.
th-
Okay, that's sort of a mech. I mean, mech sort of implies machine.
Yeah, well,
It's
I think we just wanted to say Pacific Rim was the name of your thing, so that's why
It's like a water elemental at best.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I-
okay. If you
Which
want
is
to go,
still cool.
want to go into fucking semantics about like the water fucking.
I'm thinking maybe he can like, because I think that the tough part of conceptualizing then is like, what do we consider as, getting a person wet enough to control them, and so
Yes.
I think
I think-
maybe that he should be able to waterbend, but then he can't.
Well, right, that's
he
the
can't.
thing I was thinking, right? Because like once it would be one thing if I could just like mind control things that are underwater, but like you're saying, like once I get that, I can like maintain a water casing around them and have them walk around on land,
Yeah.
which
yeah.
just seems weird. Like I can only start manipulating water that way once I've got a victim.
Right, and so I think he should be. I think we should just expand it so that he's able to waterbend.
Right.
But then
But
it's
he
just
can't.
like,
But he can't form it into like hard objects. Like he can't make knives or guns out of them. Like he can only just manipulate water as water.
what if Wait, Kyle, you shouldn't be here because we're just retooling it for you. Isn't that
I
the
guess
thing? Like,
so.
he's
I
not
mean,
allowed
this
to
was
be
sort
here?
of a gray area.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
We
that's
know
just
what the
you know.
general power is. It's just like hammering out the specifics. I don't know.
What
And we
if-
also did this before with him last time. So
What if instead it was like, that's wait no, we have to keep the mech part, right? We have to keep the minion part because it's a master power.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you guys are really gonna like, if you want to like totally start over, like with the same idea, but like you're just going over again from the ground up, like I could leave, I guess.
yeah, I don't know, but
mean-
I just don't know what kind. Like I don't know what waterbending fits into as a power type.
Because I was gonna say like, because the main thing is that like we want to keep it so that he has minions.
Mhm.
But like if we wanted to like make it more of that, like lean into that sort of encasing idea,
Yep.
it could be that like he could enhance or take control of whatever he like. If it's like wrapped in water, so like let's say he has a knife,
Yeah.
he like dunks it in water, he pulls it back out. It's like he can make it like a short sword, but like the water is like sort of.
Well, then
just
that's
enhances
the
the
thing,
knife.
then, right? You have to dunk it in water. So like, how are you gonna dunk a person in water or whatever? But I okay. So are you saying then it doesn't? We should move away from the idea of controlling living things, and then he can just encase inanimate objects if he wants to in water, and then they can become enhanced somehow.
See, I don't think then that works with like the whole theme of his like trigger.
Yeah.
If you guys Google fish mech, you get what I was expecting.
Oh, let me see that. Is it just mechs of like literal mech fish?
Gone. What?
No, not that. That's like I don't know what that. That's like a WoW thing. I don't.
Yeah, I
Fish
don't know why
mech, you get exactly what I was thinking.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, that's
It's
fair.
Yeah, I see it.
I don't know
No.
if you could somehow get us there or what.
Would you like it more if we got?
I have no idea. Yes, I think.
But that's just more of fish management then. That brings us back to fish management.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't. The fish management.
I
is
like
kinda
the
shit.
one that is just like it's like a fish that's trapped in one of those ship in a bottle type things, and then there's just a fucking revolver like strapped on top of
Yeah.
it. That one's fucking hilarious. I like that one a lot.
It's just a fish with a gun. Okay, So
Yeah,
we
you don't
wanna-
have to do fish mechs, but if you do, it has to be this.
Okay.
So I
That's pretty
think
cool.
broad strokes. What do we want out of this power broad strokes wise?
Well, that
Personally, I
if we're
want-
doing broad strokes, then I think Kyle should leave.
Yeah, I
'cause
could just leave. I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah. Get the fuck out of
Bye.
here.
Fine.
So, yeah.
So we're redoing.
I
From
guess.
scratch, or-
Yeah, let's just do it like let's go wide then in, right? Like what I was
Yeah.
talking about, Brad.
Yeah.
So broad strokes. I think we should keep minions.
Yes. Yeah.
Make him some sort of minion mancer.
Yep.
He's a master still.
Yeah, because that just ties with the theme, and we don't have to fucking like retool all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It should tie with minions. And
Can we bring back to the table sorry, can we bring back to the table the idea of him controlling parents? Because I love the world in which Kyle's character becomes like a matchmaker just for the sake of having parents that he could then control by
So
making
after all
matches.
time, this is what you guys came up with?
I
Well,
really like the
we're-
idea, but I don't think that-
We're going back to broad strokes just because we're
Yeah.
the specifics
What does
were
Kyle think, though?
fucking we were just like at that moment we were kind of all just like stuck, and we were like, I think honestly it's better if we just go back to like the drawing board, go to broad strokes, and then like needle it down.
Yeah, because we were stuck on the fact that like if it's water management, because where we left it off, it was water management, and then he could control any living creature. But the problem was that it's unclear how he like encases somebody in water in the first place. Like, does he have to literally take them to a body of water and dunk them in it, or can he waterbend? And then if he could waterbend, like, you know, why doesn't he just waterbend?
Waterbend.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try making the parent trap work.
Okay.
Let's
Are
try.
you
No, look, the fucking water, the fish mech, I guess just wasn't working. Let's
You don't have to be the fish mech, but is it really the fish mech or controlling parents? Like, those are the two options. It's one or the other. What?
no. It's not. That's not one or the other. But it's a yes and type of situation. It's a yes and situation. Like, look, if we're gonna like improv this, like, let's just make it loose and fast. Let's try
Why
it.
don't you control helicopters instead?
No, let's just try it and see what
Let's
happens.
just try
If
it.
we don't
Let's just
like it,
try
we'll
it.
go back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Why is your computer screen frozen? Like, why is your camera frozen on that image?
It's not frozen for me.
Yeah.
It's not frozen for me either.
You know that meme of Gordon Ramsay where like he's like stuck in the drawer? That's what you look like right now on my
I'm
screen.
not familiar
Don't
with
know
that
what that
one.
looks
What's
like.
that?
Just keep going.
Let's just try this. Okay. So
Okay.
parent trap.
Uh-huh.
Broad strokes. Nick, what do you have for us?
He controls anybody who has biologically created a child.
A child. Okay.
Right.
So or helped in that conception,
Yeah.
because that
One step up from that, taking it farther, he controls any organism that has had a child.
Yeah.
Okay,
okay.
that is stupid. That is just bad.
This
No.
Okay.
is a yes and, Yash. Yes and.
It's yes and Yash.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
God, you ever heard of acting?
You never heard of fucking yes and? It's just fucking saying like
Here.
fucking what's it called? So it's a yes and is a concept in improv where it's like you literally cannot say no because that just kills a scene or that just kills an idea.
Yeah.
You have to roll
Instead,
with it.
the idea is that like you roll with it and you like try to make it work as best as you can while keeping it grounded.
Yeah.
Keeping it grounded after he said control anything that has been a parent ever.
what if instead of control, he can literally make that person like or a person or creature freeze. So it's literally a parent trap. So it's like,
How would that help him? He still would die in the helicopter crash.
no, he wasn't in the helicopter. This is the
This
fucking
is
water.
this
was
is the
underwater.
yeah no this is
Right,
this
yeah.
is the boating accident.
Debris, right, or something.
The problem we have is he has to get out of there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's part of
Yeah,
it.
it was the parents. Like it was Nick's. It was like the one Nick wrote, right?
Yes.
Where they like leave him behind, and he's like gonna drown.
Yes.
If
Okay.
he just frees parents, he's not gonna survive. It's like
True.
power lasts for like 2 minutes, and then he dies.
That's true. He would then die. Okay, so then let's go back to controlling parents then.
Alright, we'll just say controlling parents. I'm gonna cut the organisms right now so we can figure this out.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
wait, let's take a step even further back. Let's just say controlling.
controlling.
Right? The master power. What are the things he can control?
Parents.
Boats.
Boats.
We have made no progress.
Boats. I think boats is the right direction.
Boats is a good direction. Okay.
But Yash, that's too literal, Yash. That's too literal.
No, there's a character in Worm who can she can touch cars and she can turn them into these kind of giant mechanical wolves or whatever.
That's exactly where I was about to go with this.
Yep,
With
exactly.
fish.
He can turn boats into giant mechanical parents.
Giant mechanical fish. Giant mechanical fish.
We got it. We got it all together.
Fishmax. We make it come back to Fishmax. The problem is we're not near an ocean.
Okay. What if we made it so his whole thing with his parents, right, is that they fucking hated each other, but they still played off each other in this weird parasitic relationship kind of thing.
Yeah.
What if
Toxic as well.
what if his power somehow made it so that he could he could make two individuals either love or hate each other, or maybe both, or just one of them, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's not really as much of a master power as it should be, but
I think you're onto something.
maybe.
I think you can play off of someone else somehow.
I think so. Going off of that, that's I didn't think about it like that. That way, the way the parents kind of their relationship is.
Mhm.
What if you can just trap two people in a feedback loop? The way the parents were trapped like that. So it is a parent trap, but you're trapping any two people. I don't know exactly how the feedback loop, what it would be exactly. And you could maybe trap yourself and someone else to leech power from them or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
maybe.
the idea, I didn't think about that aspect. That's very
Maybe actually. Okay, here's how about this? Instead of defining it as loving or hating, what if it's just you pick two people and then they become the sole focus of each other's attention, and then depending on what their feelings were to that person before this thing started, that's how they're gonna continue interacting with each other, just but with each other as the sole focus. So if two people hate each other and then they get locked together, then they're gonna fucking destroy each other. Two people love each other and then they're gonna fucking make out or have sex or something. I don't know.
So it enhances what if he chooses two people and their emotions towards each other gets enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe with however long it lasts, if maybe he can hold it on for as long as he wants, and those emotions would just keep escalating, sort of in that feedback loop where it just keeps building and building up, sort of just similar to how his parents were. So let's say if there was if he chooses someone that let's say they just met and he strikes up a positive interaction with them, they're just acquaintances, that he initiates that feedback loop. Maybe that person just starts escalating quick,
way
higher
faster,
and higher, with time, with a short amount of time. So let's say within within an hour, they're drinking buddies. Within 2 hours or so, or 3 hours or so, they might be
getting married.
The best friends. I don't want to jump to married yet, but I was gonna say within a day, they might start they might start thinking about living together for a while or something like that. Within a week, that guy was completely obsessed.
Yeah, that's all they could think about. So it's a slow burn type of thing to really max it out, but you could get some crazy effects if you're trying to
fucking ship. The power's called slow burn.
I've got a couple of questions that I think we need to iron out here. How many people can he affect at once? Is it just he gets two people to tether and that's it?
I have to cut you off right now before you guys keep going on this, because he's still trapped.
No, I got it out. I've got it out. He can pick one of his parents.
I was gonna say that.
We don't care about him.
Right, but then the power turns on. That's also so. Then I think we might need to just tweak the effectiveness of it. I think there might be a short term, or maybe we could just invert it so that it's strong at the beginning and then gets weaker as time goes on. It becomes more of a strain. Because
I
don't know.
That's a good application.
Yeah,
especially because it needs to be used in the game.
Yeah. You need to think about short term effects. So
maybe it's similar to like Brad's thing, where he can like sort of overcharge his like fucking like gravity lashings. Maybe he can overcharge this like emotional lashing, so that it happens in one burst.
What
There
if
could
when
also be a
overcharge-
shaker effect to his power too. He
Say
fits
again?
Shaker. Nick fits Shaker and Master, so he can. There can be like a Shaker effect to the power too. Shaker's area of effect, kind of so like water bending, would be like a Shaker power.
hear me out here.
okay.
If he supercharges his power like that, he can select one person and affect their feelings towards him. So he does like a self tether.
Oh yeah, because that's
and
how
then that lets him get out of there.
yeah.
But if you're doing so what I'm thinking is he can pair up multiple people at the same time. But if he does the overcharge, he can only do the overcharge to one person himself, and everything else is negated while he does
I think
that.
he always has to do one person at a time.
I think it needs to be. I think it needs to be a pair. Just any.
I thought it was only gonna be 2. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Well,
it's
he
got to
can
be
make
one
it
pair at a
do-
time.
Yeah, like the limiter isn't necessarily like a time limit. Like I don't think it should maybe get more intense over time. Like it just kind of keeps them focused on each other. But like if they're focused on each other, Nick can't use it on someone else. So like really, like what limits it is that Nick needs to use it on someone else instead. Like it doesn't help if like he's made the two guards like into each other, right?
Yeah.
If like there's like two more guards in front of him.
Right. Yeah.
then he
Yeah.
needs to get that.
Kyle works on 2 people. Yeah, and I could see like specifically for the case of getting out of the initial trigger situation, it's like your mom or your dad sees your utility enhanced in that light, and so that's why they decide to save you, because they don't necessarily love you. You know, it doesn't enhance that emotion, TM, but like. It definitely just makes them see you as more valuable to the point of which where they'll be like, oh, actually, you know what? Maybe I will save this person. So
I like that. Yeah, I like that. It doesn't necessarily like. I think it's definitely like the idea that like there's a little bit of legwork that he has to do initially, where it's like if he wants one interaction, like he'd have to like initiate that feeling, and then he has to enhance that. So it's like if say he wants 2 people to like really hate each other, he has to somehow like
get them
one
to
person
hate each other initially, or get them to dislike each other, and
then he can
just build
then
on,
he can-
send it into a feedback loop kind of thing. Okay.
How does he do that during battle is my question. Like how do you get 2 enemies to hate each other if they're on it?
This is a good point. Okay, so I've told you guys that like the kind of the situation, right? Like the premise is that you guys are supposed to be villains, but you've been hired by like a security company to kind of like cause some trouble. So it creates demand for the security company.
Yeah.
And like you need like a power that like can visually be like combat, like that has like combat utility. Also, every power in Worm has combat utility. So like I know Kyle's not here, so I can just tell you guys this straight up. All the powers are like designed, like not by humans, but they were like designed by something specifically. So they were all used like fighting. So there has to be like some kind of combat application.
So what if instead of
And it has to be something we can see, that like people would see and be like, "Oh shit, it's that villain." Who is this, Kyle?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what Kyle's. Look, it's the parent trap, right? Like, but like it has to, like if it's like, oh, these 2 people hate each other now, ha ha ha. Like no one's gonna hire him.
what if he so he could emotionally like tether 2 people so that they fixate on each other and their emotions are like enhanced. He could again, like I think coming off of that like feedback loop idea, which like we could draw from like the parents' own feedback loop of it just enhancing that emotion. It could be a time thing where it's like I don't know if how combat works. Like maybe it's like in turns or some shit, but like with each turn, like the 2 like people that he tethers are more likely to like be more aggressive at each other. and like he doesn't have a like the only limit is that like he has to choose 2 people, so he can have like one group of like 2 people like being aggressive at each other, then another group of 2 people being aggressive at each other, and just continuously do that.
Yeah.
And it'd just be like the time bomb of like taking off, like building up until they're like aggressive with each other.
Yeah. Also, another utility for this is like considering the possibility of tethering himself to somebody. He can either draw, like, you know how in fucking World of Warcraft you have tanks draw the aggro,
Pull
right?
aggro.
So yeah, he could pull aggro just by having somebody that dislikes him or he dislikes them. Pull aggro on him, and then
has no like durability.
But what if?
Yeah, they could build it up. Like we haven't determined their stat rolls yet.
What if with each person he like tethers? So what if with each person he tethers to himself? He can build that durability.
So like mech made out of people.
What?
I don't know about that. No, because I was thinking like literally. He chooses.
What is that?
He tethers one person to like. He emotionally tethers one person to himself. So that person's emotions for him were like aggravated.
Yeah.
And maybe he gets like, I don't know, some sort of fucking shield, like a very small shield off of that. But if he does multiple people, so let's say he chooses like 10 people and they're all tethered onto him, they all want to fucking kick his ass. But he has 10 times that tiny shield.
But what does the shield have to do with his trigger? Where's that shield come from?
It could be like fucking. It's just an idea. It could be. We could like lock. No, but it could be like fucking. What's it called? Him wanting to protect himself or some shit, or his parents like using him or some shit. Like,
yeah, let me reread his trigger thing again. It's been a while.
Another opportunity is that if he does a little legwork before an operation and he gets to become buddy-buddy with one of the guys that they're supposed to be going after or whatever, he could then, like, before combat initiates, be like, hey, and then create the link, and then basically have that guy become his servant for the battle, and then have him turn against his allies for Kyle's purposes, you know?
I like that idea, too.
So that's...
Wait, so he basically takes over one person in a battle?
Yeah, he basically would do a charm person on, and I mean, theoretically, if he became somehow buddy with all of the bad guys before the fight started, he could try and do like one after the other. But you know, since if we are going to limit it to just only one link at a time, then it probably would only work with one person. And also, as soon as the bad guys found out that's why he would have to go in before the battle started and set up that tether, because if he didn't, then they would all be like, oh, betrayed, right before when he tried to set up the link.
I think I like the whole gameplay idea of him having to like stoke the flames a little bit, like start it off and then he enhances it. I like that a lot. And I like the idea of like building allies that way.
Yeah. Like this guy, this person, it's like the way we're building them up is basically they're kind of just evolving into either, if you're going with the idea of you drawing aggro, they need to become a tank, or if it's going to be the other way where you're trying to charm people and then have them become your temporary allies to fight against the people. Then they need to become really charming, and they have to be like sort of a charismatic person to get their way into a bunch of social situations where they can become friends with all these different people.
I think the pull aggro idea, I think we should drop that idea, because that's like, or I think it's like, I don't know if the pull aggro, like I agree that the pull aggro idea might not like work thematically with like the whole concept.
And I mean, like, he could still do it in a pinch if like somebody is getting somebody on our team is getting beat the fuck up. He could try and do it to at least pull some light aggro off of him. And that still has utility in battle, I would say.
He would draw attention.
It still doesn't work because it's still this power is not something you would see. In fact, it's not something people would even know about, right? Like,
well, they would know when they keep hearing about like this guy gets to like goes into a place, gets to know somebody, and then all of a sudden the guy like the place turns in on itself because one of the people in there just starts killing everybody else.
Oh, like fucking Kingsman, the Kingsman.
Yeah.
No, like the first Kingsman, where he fucking.
Yeah, this like the signal.
Yeah, the signal. Where, like, in Mages.
Yeah. Yeah, like
it could be
that.
something-
It still doesn't work because that's not like like it's still okay. Look, there has like I'm not saying that can't be part of his power, but there has to be some sort of like other component that because this is basically like this isn't even just like a support power, right? This is like a power that like no one would really know about or should know. Like if people would only know about this power if you're like really bad at like your job. Or maybe Kyle is. Who knows?
But that's the thing. Like, what if so he's part of the support company, or he's part of this company, right? Like, he'd be there so that like people would start like maybe if people are panicked or something, he could tether that to like one of us, so that like we become more violent. The people become more panicked of us, and like they get more scared of us. Like, it's that like it's the emotional control bit.
Yeah, you're creating a feedback loop of whatever emotion they feel towards the other person that they're tethered to.
Yeah, like there's I think the biggest thing is that like we want to have that feedback loop, and maybe it's a fast feedback loop where it's like it just constantly compounds. So maybe within like minutes, like you're terrified, or maybe within like like in under an hour, you're struck with like you're frozen with fear, right?
Yeah.
Or you're so angry that like you're willing to risk your life just to like kill someone or some shit like that, right? Like it just becomes a pervasive thought. It's sort of like DDoS.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
It's just better. It's just better DDoS. Honestly, it's DDoS with easier mechanics to explain.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the direction you went in, but also you have to think about another thing, right? Which is Kyle has to play this character. Like, what is he gonna do in combat? Like, how is he gonna use? Like, does this power seem like it'd be fun to use?
Well, I think that the whole thing is that there would be role playing scenarios set up where he could go like we're thinking about if we're a villain group. I'm thinking about it in the sense of like how fucking for example GTA 5 does heists where you have to do a bunch of stuff before the actual mission, and so you can have scenarios where Kyle's character can go and do some like subterfuge infiltration kind of thing if he wants to like charm a person, or if in combat we just want to like, or just directly in combat, he can still just make it so if the enemy is scared of us, they get even more scared of us.
I think in terms of combat, like it would be more of like a control aspect where he's like able to control where enemies are going essentially. Right. So maybe it's like if we have like if it's like 5 on the 4 of us, right? And he has he has one dude that's going on him and 2 dudes that are going on like let's say Nick, then he could like tether that one guy that's going on him onto Nick, and then that dude that was going to go on Kyle, now his attention is drawn to Nick.
And then that can set me up to line up a fucking shot with legendary Shadow Ranger.
No, my tether can be used for your power too.
Yeah,
exactly. So it's like
some good combos.
Yeah, or the same thing with like Brad. Like if he could like emotionally like tether the fucking guy to go over to Brad, like to have his focus drawn on Brad, and like his emotions are just spiked for Brad, and he just wants to kill Brad. And with each like I don't know again if there are rounds, but with each round, it's like the guy becomes more self-destructive because of how much he wants to kill Brad. That he like starts losing like all like fucking idea of like, oh, I want to like this is my strategy. No, he just starts charging Brad. Like
the part that was most compelling to me is when you said Kyle could be used to make people more afraid of like the villain team, right?
Yeah.
But the issue is like so Kyle. What would make Kyle effective is if he was not part of your team, right? Like in all these scenarios that you've outlined, Kyle is most effective when he's not a combatant and people don't know he's working with you guys. When he's just like a guy that's there, right?
Well, that's like only one. That was only one scenario that I brought up where he could do that, but he could. I still think the scenarios in battle, going back to the drawing aggro scenario. It slipped my mind that. He could tether any 2 people, so he can just draw aggro to anybody. Like Pat was saying, he could draw aggro to me, which would then make it easier for me to do my thing. Like,
but why does he have to be like seen, right?
What?
It works better if they don't know he's there, if he's not a target.
Probably, yeah. It's sort of like a rogue.
But see, okay, so I can't tell you guys exactly what happens in the campaign, obviously, but it's important that he is part of your team, like that he is seen. on like that he is like a part of the team that like does stuff visually. Also, I think it'll be more fun for him if he can actually do some combat besides just make two people hate each other.
Well, you can
Like,
still
that's
have
really cool.
can you still wield items in this
do you
game?
want him to do? So do you want him to do damage then?
I mean, I'd like him to have some sort of like combat ability outside. Like he can do. Like I'm not saying he can't do this. This is fine, but he needs to have something else with it.
I think then like what if I don't know, I guess it was like if it was like fixation, like he could change someone's fixation or some shit. Like
You need something like that's like visual, sort of. You know, like not something visual, but you need something that's like tangible. You know what I mean?
but,
Like it's like if you're like fighting like I don't know if that Professor X can do like telekinesis, right? But like seeing someone do telepathy, right, is kind of like lame, right? Versus like seeing someone do, you know, like like pick something up with their mind, right? Or doing something like that, because then you can see that they're doing something.
I guess so. So like it has to be visual, so he's part of I mean
He doesn't have to have like a visual effect necessarily, but like even just like when you punch someone and you've got like super strength, right?
like
Or there is this character actually in Worm. Their power was that they could shoot these like kind of like these blasts, like they were a blaster, but those blasts would like they were like emotion blasts, and they could alter.
Yeah, that was cool.
And he wore like this suit of armor. His name was Gallant because like his whole thing was supposed to be like chivalry and stuff. And he wore this like suit of armor that was like kind of like futuristic knight armor because he like kind of wanted people to think that he was like a tinker, like an inventor, but he really was not. He only had the emotion blast power. One of the people on the team made that armor for him. Like one of the inventors on the team made the armor for him. So like with that power, right? I mean, like he has a visual component already because he shoots emotional blast. But like he's also wearing that armor, right? Like it's like this guy is clearly like a villain, or like he's clearly a dude that has some kind of special abilities that does something, right?
mean, I feel like at the same time, like what's it called? Fucking that whole idea of like mental manipulation isn't like a. So it sounds like that you want us to go in a specific direction for how like this power develops. That's like a very visual way, and I like as far as like let's say as the design aspect goes. But I feel like that's not like it's not without reason that like this power wouldn't work in that sense of like mental manipulation, because it's like you have tons of characters in like comics and stuff who do like similar things.
It's not because of superhero stuff or comic stuff. It's like specifically for this story. Like you guys have to be like a
So
team that like is hired that like does this thing.
so it's like we have to be showy.
Yeah, you don't have to be very showy, but you have to like be able to see you at work, right? So like he doesn't have to like be shooting, like he doesn't have to be Jubilee, right? Like shooting off fireworks everywhere, right? Like Brad's power is just moving things, right? But like you can see it, right?
Yeah,
like,
but you could see people want to kill each other. Like I think that's the point. Is like if you let's say that the villain agency that is hiring our group is like, all right, Kyle, what can you do? And then he walks into the room. He sees that there's two bodyguards that are like blocking the back entrance. He links those two who have had like slight disagreements with each other in the past, and then they just kill each other. Like that's his power.
Yeah, like it's not fighting each other. Like
Yeah.
there's that. It's that like.
Wait, at what point do they kill each other?
They just
Like,
the
how does
feedback
power
loop.
work? How fast does it
Well,
ramp?
that's the thing that we're trying to toolkit, I guess, is figure out how fast this thing goes into effect. I mean, it sounds like at this point you just want it to be where it'll just go to max, like that emotion, whatever emotion they feel strongest about that other person at that moment is just going to get put into maximum overdrive. So if those two bodyguards dislike each other, then it's going to be put into maximum overdrive to the point where they want to kill each other, and then they'll go and do that.
Look, I don't need it to be maximum overdrive. I don't really care. You guys just have to add some other aspect to it.
Right, but I think this idea is the best one we've had, so I think that's just what we want to roll with.
Okay, so for example, there's a character in the book whose name is Regent, who's on a villain team. And Regent's power that we see is that he can basically like cause like nerve twitches, sort of, right? So like if someone's gonna shoot a gun, or like he can kind of like throw off their aim, by, like making their hands spasm or something. Like if they're like in a fight, like he can like make them like do whatever, right? Like they can like trip or something. Really, what his real power is, or what his primary power is that if he is one-on-one with a person for like a while, like half an hour or something, right? Just they have to be kind of tied up or whatever, so he can do this. But he can basically take control of them and control another person. But then, like, that's not like a visual power. Like, you don't see that much, right? But that is his main power. But he has another aspect that is like more useful in combat that you can kind of see. I mean, it's not as visual too as like, but like, just can you add some aspect to this power that like makes it more combat relevant?
What do you have in mind then? Because we have been giving you options for that, and it seems that you kind of like not like it seems that you want more, and I'm not sure what. Like, I feel like Nick and I are on the same page for like what the idea for the like how the sort of like what's it called fixations could work, but like it seems that like you want something specific, and if we're just going to keep throwing out ideas that like you're going to be like, no, it has to be more, then just tell us what you want.
All right, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, sorry.
Like, no, you're good. No, you're good. Like, but this is just I mean, what's it called? This is just how design works, right? If you're essentially the director here, so if you want a specific direction, then just tell us what that direction is, and we'll work off of that.
Yeah,
but
so
don't just like
say what it is you want.
Okay, so I don't have a specific idea in mind, but there is a concept called grab bag capes, which are capes are like superheroes or villains. They're people that have multiple like powers. So like Alexandria types, right, are grab bag capes. They can fly. They have super strength. They have durability, right? There's more than like just that. But you know that like I'm kind of like if you guys could kind of add like a second aspect, you can keep this power. Like I don't have an issue with this power being there in the game, but there needs to be another aspect to it that allows Kyle to function on this team as like a more regular member that's like that can do stuff in combat besides just manipulate other people.
Okay, so he needs some kind of like blaster power or something that lets him.
Yeah, I just don't know what else there'd be that would tie to his trigger as well as what that is. Like,
it doesn't have to be the same aspect of his trigger necessarily. Also, a lot of cases have multiple like minor powers to enable their primary power to work properly. Like there is this cape. Her name is Flechette, and her power is she can like imbue like projectiles or like projectiles or like knives and stuff with the power to kind of like pierce through anything. And she has like some minor powers too though, like including like, you know, like some like minor like movement, like being like, you know, like a little bit of like agility and, you know, having like really good aim and stuff so that she can like hit targets, right? And those are minor powers, but they're like part of like her overall thing. So like if you can come with like some minor powers.
Right,
that, like,
so then I guess our question is, what do you think would be a minor power that could also work with the trigger and then also, you know?
So I have an idea actually.
Okay.
Okay.
So the idea is like sort of jumping off the idea of like the fixation that the parents had on each other.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And it's also taking some of the ideas of like wanting to like pull aggro and move minions around, people around essentially on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
What if he whatever like damage or whatever like if Kyle takes damage, I guess, then like he could return it at an increased damage or some shit. Like if he like gets punched or something, then he can punch back with like more force because it builds up that like fixation of damage or some shit. Yeah. Or what?
Yeah, because the parents always were doing more. They were trying to top each other. So
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that. I think that could work in.
Or we could go back to that idea of like building like I don't know, like a force field or something, like a kinetic field, sort of like what's it called? Black Panther. So that way it's sort of like a shaker power. That way it's like he builds up like kinetic energy, then he like can explode it, sort of like the fucking like ship exploding or some shit.
Okay, I like the feedback loop of like the brute power. So that's like he takes damage and you can kind of deal it back at an increased rate. Can you guys like elaborate, like not elaborate on it because you guys have to figure it out, but can you guys like try and like let's use that for like a couple of minutes just to see if there's anything there?
I think
I thought that would just tie to
something
his mind power. It's just that he also is able to take things and then deal it back with more because of the fixation or whatever.
Yeah, I think like a big thing that I want to latch onto is the fixation and being able to like control. Like, because I think like I like the idea of this being a control power where it's like his main thing is that he can move people around, right?
Yeah.
Like I like. Say again, Brad.
Like chess pieces on a board.
Yeah, he can like. The main thing is that like he can change where people are fixated at, and like it could be either through like tethering two people or tethering like them to him or some shit like that. But like, I think then like he could also choose like, oh, I want to be that target, and then he could then either protect himself or deal damage based on like fucking that fixation.
Yeah,
because I think like fixation is like the biggest thing that fixation, that feedback loop was the biggest thing that I got from his like trigger. Was that like there was that big like it was compounding because of that feedback loop, but like it was that also fixation of the two parents on each other.
Yeah. And again, if we're doing maximum amount of emotion as soon as the tether is applied, then it just like it makes moving them around the battlefield that much easier. Because they're just going to be primary. That's all they're going to care about. Like I guess to put it again into like D&D terms, it's like you're casting Charm Person or like Enrage or whatever onto that person and just directing them at another person.
And then
of their choice. Then
like with himself, then maybe like whatever damage he takes can be compounded and used as like either a shield, I don't know, or it could be used as like a shockwave. You know, like the damage he takes, the kinetic damage he takes, or the blast damage he takes. I don't fucking know like what the actual term would be.
Yeah.
Would like kinetic makes sense, but it would be compounded, and he can compound it and like take more damage. So, like I'd say if like Brad like throws him against the wall for like a day or so, he like just keeps building up that damage, and then he just walks into a crowd of people and just blows them all up.
Yeah. No, yeah, I like that.
I like this direction. Like, what if it's that like, I think this might be what you were saying, anyways. But like he's kind of like he's sort of like immune to damage from like people that are like he's what was the term tethered to?
Yeah,
like not immune completely, but like the longer he's tethered to them, the more like immune, like the more resistant or immune he gets, and he like collects a percentage of that back as like a brute power that he can use to like.
I like that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you think
I like that idea?
Do you think that he should only be able to deal that damage back to the person that gave him that damage?
No, I think
just give it to anyone.
He needs to be able to reroute that kinetic energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
he's taking their energy and then releasing it somewhere else.
That's like Zuko redirecting lightning.
Yeah, like they're like a battery for him.
I think that's because I think like in that case, then like I like the idea. I definitely like the idea of it like dealing less damage over time, like as the link grows stronger and stronger. And I like that a lot. I like it being specifically for him. So it's like he has to choose that target than himself.
Yeah, he has to put himself in the line of fire to get the benefit of
like he's still taking
super strength.
I still want to keep the idea that like I want the idea that I still want to keep the idea where he can like choose where that fixation goes though. Like so it doesn't always have to be on him. So maybe like once he's done
this is just like what this is like his like the I like your idea for the power. I just needed like some other part that we could apply that would function in the group. But I like he's still has that other thing as his main power. This is like another aspect of it, but it only applies to him. And he can still, though, like a lot of what he does is like manipulating other people.
Mm-hmm. Could we change the enraging emotions bit to simply just fixation? And make it that broad, like a broad sort of blanket statement for that?
This is like basically, can you guys just tell me what I should write down for this power?
Yeah, he so because his parents were always so fixated on each other, that fixation manifested itself in his power, which is basically allowing him to pick two people to tether to each other emotionally, and any feelings that they whatever is the strongest feeling they have towards that person that they're tethered to becomes like it just clouds their entire vision. Just that feeling towards that person that they're tethered to is just completely, all they can think about, and so they have to act on that in whatever way seems most suiting for that emotion. And then if they specifically, if he chooses himself to be to be part of the tether, he's immune. I would say.
Yeah, I would assume.
Yeah. But then. What?
Question. Okay.
Yeah.
So, wait, can you repeat the part where it's like, so whatever the strongest emotion is?
Yeah.
Can you repeat that?
So if the person, like, if two people like each other, then they will die for each other if this power is activated, or if they were already going to die for each other, then they're going to get to the point where they'll be downright reckless with trying to defend each other from any kind of blows. Or the flip. What?
Sorry, it just kind of gets more intense over time?
You could say that it would inflame their emotions,
yeah,
and compound those feelings over time.
Yeah. So I don't know if we even need to do the overtime thing. I feel like at this we're just. I think it just seems like it's more of an effective tool if it's just maximized from the start.
I like the
time part though.
I like the idea of it could be a very short time period. Yeah, maybe like a minute or so, but I like the idea of it being. I think it should ramp up for sure, because that's like
very long. Go ahead. Like maybe in terms of turns in combat.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking like maybe there's like 4 stages or something.
Yeah,
Like every turn it becomes more and more intense.
Yeah, because I think it's like because that was a big thing that I took away from like what you wrote, Nick, was that like they kept escalating.
Yeah, that's true. And then if he chooses himself as part of the tether, then he takes damage if he takes damage from that other person, because
I got that part.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty much it, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. So we've kind of only talked about what if like the two people hate each other, love each other. What if they have two different feelings for each other?
Then they act on them accordingly.
Like an incel and like a girl, right? Or not in. Okay, that's not an incels hate women too. Okay, what if it's like someone who like loves someone, and that person hates the person, like hates the other.
Yeah.
Then the person would like try to.
Yeah, the one person would be like, "I love you. I want to fuck you right now," and the other person would just kill them.
Yeah, I'm cool.
It's like a magnet. It's like a magnet situation where the two get attracted.
Enough, right? Because it ramps. Like, how resistant are people to this? Like what I mean, it's like in stage 1, right? Like,
well, that's why I was worrying about this whole stage mechanic, is just because it's going to be hard to quantify how in love or in hatred somebody is with another character.
I think that just really depends on being able to roleplay out like the emotional intelligence in a way. Maybe if you wanted to put stats to it, and if we're talking in D&D terms, which I know this game isn't, then I would say it's either a charisma or a wisdom check,
and then just increase the DC every stage.
Yeah. So it's like, for example, if I'm feeling really fucking horny, like I'd be on Twitter, but I wouldn't just retweet like horny shit onto my like main account, right?
You wouldn't go full horny on main, yeah.
But like, if I get even more horny, maybe I'll put it on my horny account. If I'm like inselling it up, maybe I accidentally put it on my main account, and it just builds up.
That's how intense it gets. That's stage 3 out of 4.
I can become horny on main. No, but it's like if you've like you've wanted to like punch someone, but you haven't acted on it, but those feelings would be enraged. So like even the small things that they do like would piss you off, but you wouldn't act on it. But then like maybe after a couple more seconds, like those little things just build up, and then they'd be like, I'm gonna fucking bop you. So it's really, honestly, it would be up to like the person and that sort of like skill check DC or whatever.
Mhm.
But like,
It would be a social check.
yeah, it'd be a social check or some shit. But it's like, obviously in combat, like, because the emotions are so high already, like you're trying not to die or to kill someone, like it's a lot easier then for that to like compound even harder. You know?
And I would say to apply it again to like if we're trying to figure out ways to apply it to game scenarios, I think let's say again going back to the idea of two henchmen that were fighting for some reason or another, and they dislike each other but obviously are still able to work together. If Kyle applies his power to them, then maybe on stage 1 they just, don't stand next to each other. In stage 2, if there's an opportunity for one of them to possibly, like, help out the other, they just objectively refuse to do that at all. Stage 3, they start to turn their attention away from the people they're fighting towards each other. Stage 4, they're trying to kill each other, and that's all they care about.
What if Kyle wants these two guards who are guarding the thing to stand apart so we can sneak in, right?
Okay.
What if he can start it up to stage 1 where they stand apart, and he cancels it and then restarts it back up to stage 1. So he just keeps canceling it and restarting it so they'll stay apart.
I think he should have the choice to keep it at one level or
I think I think that's a fine way for him to be able to like try to control it. I think it's like really, it's sort of like a gauge then, like if it's like building up, then he wants to like cancel it, then maybe it would start
ramping down.
But then like he engages it again and it starts building up.
Okay.
Yeah,
like he would then have to juggle that. I think that's fine.
Okay.
I think that's definitely like an aspect of like sort of meta play that like would be a lot of fun to just sort of like, oh, these guards are like getting really, really pissed at each other. Like it's gonna be like another turn and they'll start killing each other. I'll drop it. They'll still be pissed, but like those start like waning down, and maybe it's a lot faster to drain down than it is to like rise up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to like quantify that other than like a fucking gauge.
Yeah.
But then like, I think the biggest thing is that like it's whatever level they're at. Like if you wanted to put levels on the people, whatever intensity of emotions they're at is based on the intensity they were at before he starts inflaming them. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if they're just standing there, maybe it's like the next step would be like if one of them coughs, the other one's like pretty pissed off about that, but they wouldn't be killing each other immediately. Like if one of them like farts or something, it's like you're disgusting. And then, like, but if they're in combat, tensions are already high, so it's like Kyle just like that's just free reign. Like tensions are already high, so it's just a matter of redirection.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of doing it.
Because then it creates an easy divide for like social situations and also like combat situations.
Yeah, that's how I kind of imagine him using it.
Yeah, it's like
to like kind of inflame people like already. Like so, I imagine him trying to aggravate people or whatever, or set up like social situations and then just making it much worse. So like he already does stuff though too. Like it can even be like little things, right? Like, have you guys heard of not ultrasound, but like really low frequency sounds?
Yes.
Yes.
That just
can like bother you, right? And like make you angrier and like frustrated.
Yeah, and then it just
do that, and then just like fucking make them kill each other.
Yeah, and it builds up and builds up and it builds up. So it's like it really depends on what the emotional state is before he starts inflaming them, because it's like if they're not ready to kill each other, they're not going to immediately kill each other. But if they're ready to kill something or someone, then he just has to point them in X direction, and they'll fix it on that.
See, now I'm just imagining a wonderful little scenario where Kyle is just in the midst of battle, and he really wants these two henchmen to kill each other, and he happens maybe they have their fucking name tags on or whatever. It's just like, hey Joe, Jimmy fucked your wife, and he's like, what?
Yeah, no, but it's like the feelings they want it. The tension's already high. They want to not die already, or they want to kill already.
Yeah,
that it's like. They don't. It might not be true. It might be like what, and then they'll fucking try to.
Yeah. If in that moment they happen to hate each other, then he could just fucking take that and run with it.
But it's not just they're starting emotion. Like they'd have to feel that towards each other, right? It's like
right, and that's why she has to say that Joe fucked Jimmy's wife specifically, or the other way around. Which way? I don't know which way.
But like that's small enough, like
classic.
Yeah.
But that's a small enough trigger to like redirect that anger because like they're already angry. They're all already at a high tension. Where it's
they use the relationship combined with their like mental state at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so this only works on parents. So this only works on parents, boys. Okay.
Yeah, right. We gotta bring that back in.
We give like a fake power to start with, like the parents.
I think we should just start out with like, all right, we fell back to the parent trap. That's all we got. Sorry, Kyle.
We fell back to he can summon water manifestations of his parents, and they only attack other parents.
Okay.
And they won't, and they attack non-lethally.
All right, Jesus fucking Christ.
So with the thing where he like takes damage from like a tethered partner, and then becomes more resistant to that person's damage, and he can use like part of that damage as like, is it just super strength, or is it also like durability?
He
can store it up, like he doesn't use it immediately.
I would say durability and super strength. How about that?
I thought the thing was that as he takes more damage from them, it becomes or as he's taking damage from them over time, it becomes less and less effective, so he takes less damage, but then it's still getting stored up, and then he can release it at any point.
I didn't think about that he's just going to get less and less over time. I just thought of it as like he still gets the same percentage from them, but it affects him less and less.
I think...
that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I think it would be best if, like, he takes less damage over time, essentially. Like, he gains more resistance, and then he can... expend all of that resistance into one blow.
Okay, yeah,
that way he's not constantly brawling, but he's just like playing defensively, waiting for that opening. He like then tethers off different people off to like different areas so that he can only focus on one guy, and he goes for that one blow.
The one punch.
I think that's good.
The one punch man.
Tactical ability. That's nice.
Yeah,
because I'm not 100% on that, but I'm not gonna say no. Let's just go with that for now.
Yeah,
because I think it's like, again, I want to play into that idea of manipulation. Mm-hmm. So, because his parents used him, his parents like manipulated him, or like, so it's like, he bides his time for one explosive burst, essentially.
Yeah. All right, can I invite him back?
Yeah.
Okay, so remember to tell him about like the parent trap, where it's just like fish parents. No, he gets fish parents.
Yeah. This time I'll open with the name just so he knows that it's gonna be a bad time. Hey Kyle, so your power name is called Parent Trap, and you get to create water elementals of your parents.
What the fuck?
They only attack parents.
They can only fight other parents, Kyle.
And they attack, and yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, now you know.
That's your power.
Like, wait, there's more. There's like 3 more words.
they have to be controlled by fish.
They have fish in their brains.
I'm so confused.
Parents.
Okay. All right.
What?
All right. That was a joke. We were memeing on you
actual power
for the sake of it. Your actual power. Yeah. All right. What did we come up with a name for his power? Is it still going to be called Parent Trap?
I think it should be fixation or some shit like that.
Fixation.
I like fixation.
Yeah, I like fixation.
So your power is basically you can tether 2 people together emotionally, which means whatever is the strongest feeling they have towards the other person that you tether them to, that emotion just gradually becomes like their fixation, and that person and the emotion they feel towards that person becomes their fixation. And over the course of like a couple of turns in combat, maybe, or just over time, that feeling and that fixation just becomes stronger, and they have the stronger urge to act on it in more outrageous ways. So like
it's more, Kyle. That's not it.
Yeah. So
you have the distinct honor of having a second aspect to your power.
Yeah. So
honestly,
I'm already trying to process.
Yeah.
So the second aspect is. Can I do it?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Go off.
So what the second aspect is you can tether someone to you, right? And they'll like attack you or whatever, or you should try and make them attack you for this part. You become more resistant to the damage that they're doing to you, and you absorb like some of that energy or like some of that damage that they do to you to use as super strength and durability, potentially like unleashing it as like one big kind of like burst, like one big punch or something. That's like what we're thinking for now. That part might be subject to change depending on how like combat goes, but that's how it looks.
The main idea for like scenarios and stuff is that the power is meant for mostly like control, and like battlefield control and stuff like that. So let's say, for example, we're in combat with like a couple dudes, right? The way that the combat that the power works is that it compounds upon already pre-existing emotions. So if say one guard is going to try to attack you, right? And he's like it's really high tension, he wants to kill you. You can change that fixation to go towards Nick, and he would go towards Nick, and Nick could line up an easier shot with his fucking power. Or it could go towards Brad, and Brad could like fucking like fling that guy somewhere. Or even you could bring it back to you, and he just like focuses just on you and doesn't go for anyone else, and you can build up your power and then take him out.
Yeah, you basically have aggro control.
Yes.
Okay, so if they feel a way toward anyone, I can change who.
It's not just aggro. Like you can make it so like they're like two people who are like kind of have affection to each other will be so consumed by each other that you can just slip by them.
Yeah. That's another aspect of it where it's like in a more social situation when tensions aren't as high, you can start inflaming more emotions. So let's say you have two guards who in a social situation are just guarding a place, but like might have small like grading things against each other. Like you could pair those two up, and over time it would start building up more and more. Again, this is like just for aggression, but like it could be really used for any emotion. So if one guard say like
this sounds amazing actually.
Yeah.
But I think the way Yash was explaining it earlier was that it would take like the strongest feeling they have toward that other person and go with that. So does that mean I don't necessarily completely understand what I'm causing here?
That's actually something I was thinking about. So I might add a thinker aspect to your power as well. I'm not 100% on that, but it's like people who have like a power like this, kind of just dependent on like in your case, like like reading social cues. Sometimes like they will have like a thinker aspect that makes them better at it. So like there's a character in the book, you should have read Bitch already. But like Bitch, she controls dogs, right?
Oh my god.
She's also able to read dogs' emotions.
She's fucking
she controls dogs by making them into giant monsters that she controls. It's like a lame power. But she can like read dogs, like dog emotions as if they're like people, and like read their body language and stuff.
Oh,
right?
okay.
I still really think it was weird they did that one chapter from the dog's perspective.
But that can do like she has like some like extra like thinker abilities with like helping with aiming and angles. So like I might add it so like you have like a little bit of like a boost like with like reading emotions.
Okay, because I can imagine, I don't know, I just immediately went to like there's two people like in our way, and I'm like, oh, they hate each other, I think. So I just like activate, and then they just like start tearing each other's clothes off.
That's, like, that could work too.
No, but
I didn't know.
That'd be really funny. I think along with that too, another idea that we had was that like, if say for some surface level emotions, you just sort of you found someone on the streets, right, and you did a positive interaction with them, and then you tethered them to you. Then that positive interaction would compound and compound and compound. That over time, maybe after like a day, they'd be willing to die for you.
Yeah, that's fucked up. Okay.
Damn, I didn't think about that.
No, that was my first idea. It was like after a couple minutes, you two were like good drinking buddies, and you knew a lot about each other.
This
after
power, like
hours,
I'm thinking about this. This sounds like it's actually the solution to the problem. If my power was that I could only control parents, like now I can cause that to happen.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, dude, not gonna. honestly, dude, we started this off with being like parent trap. Okay, let's just do yes and with that.
This
Let's
is the
just
companion power to that. I was like, how could I like? There's so little opportunity to create parents. Here we go.
Another idea I had was that if say if everyone else was causing like mass panic and stuff, you could choose select people, tether them to one of us, and like those emotions of fear would just compound and compound and compound until they're eventually like stunned or frozen with fear. You know, it's like it's that idea of like compounding emotion. Although at the same time, it would then like make us be more bloodthirsty towards that person or something. Or
Yeah, that would. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it two-way?
That's a good point. No one on your team is immune except for you.
Yeah,
You're
the
the
only
only
one
one
okay.
immune to your power. So
Got it. So it's
Yeah.
a two-way thing.
yeah.
It's a two-way thing.
What if
Yeah.
one person likes someone else? but
Yep.
they
talked
hate
about
We
that.
talked about this.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good,
That would
good,
compound.
because I
That
want
would
to know.
compound.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So one
so
person will
what
be
happened?
like just tearing their clothes off, and the other person will be tearing them apart, literally.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
have another question about that.
I feel like I'm really just gonna be like, if I don't have some sort of enhanced ability to read
I think it'll be
people, like it's just gonna be random. I'm like, I don't know, he's gonna freak out. I don't know
Well, I
exactly
think-
how.
Here's the thing. I think in a social situation, that would be really funny.
It would
But,
be
like-
funny, but it's just basically
it's-
me like rolling my loot pinata.
Like maybe with like just randos, right? Like with randos without any like intention, yeah, that would be just be rolling
Yeah.
the loot pinata. But if it's like maybe like a social interaction between like where you're able to like interact with them, maybe you go like, hey, Jeff here fucked your wife, Mike, and then you make Mike you start compounding, you start
tethering
those two,
them. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they're like, and then that initial resentment starts building up more and more and more.
Yeah.
So it's that aspect of like you have to be active in that social situation to like just make that little push, and then it just starts rolling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, okay.
Because if they don't initially feel that, then they're not going to initially like, you know,
Right.
and
They
it's
might-
it's that initial feeling.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
yeah.
You guys,
How
A
do you feel
plus,
about
much better job.
Turned it around.
And then the only way you can use this power is if you have a fish on you.
Yeah. Yeah. We got to be wearing a fish hat at all times. That's it.
They have to have a live fish like somewhere on your person.
Jesus fucking
You have to have
Christ.
one on your head, Kyle, for this.
Use the fish as a focus.
Wait a minute. What if Kyle's brain is a fish?
Oh, shit. Yeah, Kyle actually died in that boating accident. The fish swam into his skull, ate out his brain, and then the fish triggered.
I'm the mech.
Kyle is
Oh.
The whole time.
Kyle is super grim.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. All right, yeah,
Yeah, so-
sweet.
Okay, so have you guys noticed the trend with all these powers?
No.
All of them, like connecting things and like moving them around.
Yeah,
Yep.
actually though, is this
You
a
know why?
thing?
You know why? Because I'm the one who's like pushing things. It's literally because like I think it's because literally with Brad's power is like because I wanted like that's what I intended, but then I think with Nick's and Kyle's power, I just sort of pushed them in that direction.
But why
Yeah.
are you pushing in that direction of connecting two things? Like,
Well, 'cause
where
it's
is
the
that coming
easiest-
from?
Well, because like it's the easiest thing to like tie with like your fucking powers, because both of your powers are based on relationship.
Ah, yeah.
Well, they're the same fucking triggers as each other, basically.
All the triggers are like relationship based.
All triggers be the same.
Yeah. So it's
Your
like
two are like very similar. Like it's like your parents were like just abandon you in like some kind of like vehicle accident.
That involved water or something.
Like you're
Like,
That
we're
is
gonna tell our-
strangely, yeah, it is very
We
strange
tell
now that
our
I think
stories
about
and
it.
it's like, whoa.
it's
Like you too, dude?
interesting to see like how like a similar accident would lead to two different triggers
But
or
it's-
two different powers.
Yeah, but it's also very interesting that like the parents in both situations were motivated very differently. Where like Brad's parents were very they were so invested in their child, and then they were just immensely disappointed because all of their efforts went to nothing. Meanwhile, Kyle's parents were like, yeah, all the efforts, all of Kyle's parents' efforts went into each other, and their child was an afterthought, and so it's like a
Yeah.
weird.
Exactly. That's why like the accident itself isn't as important as like the context behind it.
Mhm.
Like the
Yeah.
two powers are sort of similar at like their core, but they're also very different in how they are applied.
okay,
Yeah.
you guys better come up with a sick power for me. I swear to fucking God. I busted my ass to give you guys cool powers.
So
okay?
are we rolling a new trigger for you as well?
Give me a
or
new trigger.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
but
get you a trigger.
not today. We're gonna do him and Nicole next week.
Yeah,
we're gonna do okay. All right, yeah, that's fine. Definitely. I am not exhausted yet, but I can feel myself
Could
becoming
we-
exhausted in the near future.
Could we roll me a trigger and then you guys can just sit and think about it?
Sure.
I think that's a good idea.
I thought about potentially just like pulling the trigger from the list for you to like add to the, not to like give to you like, but to like add to the list of triggers if you wanted.
It's like honestly, I like the randomness and I like having it out of my control. But you guys better.
Well, if
Replace the trigger
God.
that was wasted with a new one.
I just forgot her name, but if
Nicole.
was it Nicole, if she wrote some, then Pat would be like the only person we could use them on.
I
True.
don't know if she.
So we
Oh
could do
yeah,
that.
so I was supposed to write hers because she has a concussion.
Oh, write me some good triggers then.
Well, then do
The
that.
fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, do that. And
I
then,
can't use the list though, because
Oh
like
yeah, you have homework, buddy.
Yeah, you have homework, bud.
yeah,
Y'all
now
better-
you have the homework. Except you've always had the homework. Yeah, you've had homework.
Write the campaign.
Yeah, I know. You've had plenty of homework.
I busted my ass to give you guys some cool powers with cool mechanics.
Yeah, you're the final one. I mean, I guess Nicole also, but yeah.
I got the first. I was the first
This is
one in.
the best possible team you could have been on, because like your power really requires like battlefield control, and like you have the two teamers that can move everyone into the line of fire.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Nick, like your powers, like we kind of made you the strongest right now.
Bandit,
I think Kyle's is pretty fucking strong, especially once with
I
that
think Brad's also
kinetic
strong.
power. Yeah, Brad's also. There's so much potential with each of them.
There's a lot of sneaky potential, and that's why we're a team. Pat, you got the rookie power, and now you're going to get the culmination of all of the things we've
Right.
learned past like 5 hours.
Yeah,
Pacific Rim. It's all coming together.
it's all coming to, you guys. Okay, dead ass. If I get fucking fish mechs, I will not complain. Like straight up, if you give me fish mechs, there's so much opportunity for that. Like think about how many fish there are, and think about what constitutes as a fish. What if this like
No, that is very specifically defined. You can't make a fucking crocodile a fish. I don't want that bullshit coming back.
Okay, but what if
A fish is a whale.
Is it shark?
Like they played very with the definition of fish. Aquaman once gave like a bunch of people seizures by like accessing the fish part of their brain.
Yeah.
What?
straight up?
Okay, fuck off. What,
Yeah, it was stupid. Like they just really comics like just they run out of stuff to do, so they just
Yeah.
like really
Right, so they make up new things that suck.
Holy
Honestly,
shit.
straight up, I think like the most fun I had building the power was Nyx because I just kept thinking about it as like a league game. Like, what if I was just playing League of Legends, right? Like, it's like because it's positioning. It's like
Yeah.
the basic mechanics of like just positioning.
Oh yeah, for sure.
every game is about positioning. That's every FPS.
I know,
too.
but that's the thing. It's like you'd have to like honestly, I don't want to make that like a game in Unreal. That sounds kind of fun actually.
What?
All right.
Where
you
you're
have to
getting
get
shot.
Yeah.
You have to get shot, but you have to put something in between you and the thing that's getting shot.
Well, I mean, you kind of, well, not really, but I was thinking super
No,
hot
I
is
wanna
like
do it strong.
sort of about positioning, right? Where you're slow mowing at the right points in the right positions to kill all the fuckers.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Wow, Nick,
Super hot.
Oh, super hot. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
no, you're
all
right,
right. If we're done, I'll cut the stream. Thanks for watching. I guess they really only saw us do one power, but honestly, that's fine. It's still over an hour of content, so
Your power coming in, that was nice.
yeah.
Like the thing on for us to like, if we could have somehow taken over the stream while we made your power, I'm
Yeah.
sure that would be interesting to listen to.
I guess I could have just stayed in the call unmuted, but I would have just left the room. Like, I
That would-
literally
and then
just
we could've
left my
just texted
room.
We
Yeah.
could have texted you. Yeah, that would have been fun.
Oh, well.
Fucking honestly, building your power is a lot of fun. Building Kyle's power is a lot of fun too, actually.
All right. See
We
you
did
guys
one-
on Tactical Thursday. I'm just cutting the stream now.